You have to be willing to put in the work for at least 5 years, bro. 5 years minimum. Most people are just not willing to do that anymore. And it's really sad because there are more opportunities now than there has ever been. The issue with most men today is that when they're presented with anything that requires more than a 5-minute wait to get the result, they're not willing to do it. They're not willing to put in the work for more than 5 minutes, bro. But let me tell you something, bro. If you really want any amount of success worth noticing, you have to be willing to put in the work for at least 5 years, bro. 5 years minimum. And I really believe that things like Amazon Prime is genuinely ruining us. In the age where you can order something on Tuesday and by Wednesday you have that thing at your doorstep. Because humans nowadays don't have to work hard for anything. If we want something, we have the result immediately. Instant result is genuinely destroying our society. But it's also the best thing that's happened to us in a very long time. Because now it means that the ones that are not willing to put the work in for long enough, they're all going to perish. And it's the ones that, like me, you watching this because you're watching this video now and you understand this concept of compound effect, compound interest and time delay. The ones that are willing to put the work in for a longer amount of time are all going to strive for better. What does that mean for you? It means that if you want to become successful at the age of 30, if you want to have $1 million in your bank by the age of 30, you have to start working towards that goal at the age of 24, 25 years old latest. If you want to have a respectable body at the age of 29, you have to start working towards that goal at the age of 23, 24 minimum latest. You have to give yourself at least 5 years for you to attain any level of success. If you want to become successful at the age of 40 years old, you can't wait till you're 40 years old to start working on that goal. You have to start working on it at the age of 35, 34, 33. What most people hope to happen is that when they want to lose weight, they think they'll go to the gym for 3 months and then all the weight that they put on over 6 years will just disappear. And if it doesn't happen within 3 months, it doesn't work. It's not for them. It's a stupid thing. The gym doesn't work. I'm going to go buy that instant pill, that weight loss pill that can help me lose weight within 2 weeks. The first 2 to 3 years, bro, you're in the trenches. You're learning. You're getting to know the craft. You don't know anything. So the first 2 to 3 years doesn't really count because, again, you're learning how to do whatever thing you want to do. If you want to go to the gym, you're learning how to lift weight. You're learning how to eat properly. You're learning how to sleep properly. You're learning what best exercises are best for your body. That's what I did for like the first 2 to 3 years when I first started going to the gym. That took me from this to this. For the first 3 years, I had no idea what I was doing. So these first 3 years, I call it trial and error years because you don't know what you're doing. Imagine a doctor came to you. Imagine you became really ill and the doctor came to you and said, "Oh, I can help you. However, I've only been doing medicine. I've only been doing surgery for 3 months. Let me do your surgery, your potentially life-altering surgery, but I've only been doing this for 3 months." How would you feel, bro? How would you feel? Would you let him do your surgery? Honestly, man to man. Would you let him do your surgery? I wouldn't. If, like, when you go to a barber shop, right, and you get the apprentice barber who's been doing it for 3 months while he gets supervised by the master barber. I don't like it. I don't let them touch my hair because they haven't been doing it for long enough. They're not an expert yet. And for them to become an expert, they need to put in hours and hours and they need to put in a lot of work. Otherwise, I'm not going to let them touch my hair, bro. I don't know if you feel the same way, but that's how I feel. You know what I'm saying? So in order for you to really become a master, for you to see significant result, you have to genuinely be in the trenches for 3, 4, 5 years. Because the first 2 to 3 years, you're still learning the game. You're still learning how to lift weight. You're still learning how to do business. You know what I'm saying? So those first 2 to 3 years, they don't count. And you need to let time pass while doing the same thing every single day for you to become a master so that you can start getting the results. But people give up right before the end, right before they get to the goal. Like, if you've started doing anything and you've got a goal to achieve and you're in your first year of doing it and you're getting discouraged now, bro, you have another like 3, 4, 5 years to go. Why are you getting discouraged? Why are you worrying about anything? You have like another 3 years. If you get discouraged now in month 3, if you're getting discouraged now in month 4, imagine what happens when you get to year 3 and you still haven't seen any results. You've seen a tiny little bit of result. What happens then? You've been doing it for 3 years and you still haven't seen results. What do you think happens? For most people anyway. That's how I felt every single time I started a business, bro. And I didn't see any result within 3 months. I just, it's not for me. It doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? And now, only now I'm really starting to see the results of my hard work. I'm really starting to see the fruits of my labor. Like, only now I'm the most disciplined that I've ever been. I'm the richest I've ever been. I'm the smartest I've ever been because of all the work I've been putting in since 2019. That's only starting to bear results. As you can see in these YouTube videos, I'm better at doing YouTube videos than I would have been if I started it. And I did start a channel back in 2019 that I didn't launch at all because the videos were so bad, because I didn't know anything yet. I hadn't put in the work to become an expert at whatever I'm talking about. And now I've given it enough time of consistent learning, consistent discipline, consistent education. Now I'm actually starting to see the fruit of my labor. Now I can talk about finances because I've been in the game for so long now that I understand how finance work. I understand how money works. I understand how girls work because I've been doing it for a few years now. And I'm nowhere near where I need to be. I'm nowhere near the end goal. I'm trying to be a millionaire. I'm trying to be earning 6 figures a month. I'm nowhere near that. And I'm okay with that. I know I'm still going to be in the game. I'm still going to be in the trenches, learning, grinding consistently for at least, God knows how long. I think another year or so. No. Another 3, 4, 5 years or so. God, a year? I wish. Another 3 years minimum for me anyway. And that's me having been in the game for 5 years already. Or 3 years already. So it's going to take me probably 10 years from the moment I started kind of learning everything to now to really achieving my goal. That's what most people are not willing to do. They're not willing to put in that consistent work every single day for 3, 4, 5 years. And by the time I'm 31, 32, I'd already been in the game for 10 years. And by that time, I'm probably guaranteed to be a millionaire because I understand this now. Because I get this concept of compound interest, compound effect, time delay, and also it just takes time to achieve your goal as a man anyway. But then the beautiful thing about being a man is that we have a lot of time. We can basically choose what we want to become. We can basically create our own character. We can create our own wealth. You can utilize the power of compound effect into your life. Meaning that the work that you're currently doing is not going to waste. You're making progress towards your goal. Even if it feels like you're not seeing any results, you're making a lot of progress towards your goal. And if we look at this graph here, this is the graph of what Albert Einstein calls the 8th wonder of the world, which is basically the compound effect. And he says, whoever knows this graph or whoever understands this power of the compound effects will win. And you're doing a lot of work here. You're doing a lot of work and you're not seeing any results. Obviously, forget about the numbers, but let's say this is like year 1, year 2, year 3. You're not seeing any results. You're not seeing any results at all. And you might think that this isn't really working. This is being wasted. Whatever you're doing isn't working at all. And you keep doing the work. But then do you ever see people, for example, like musicians? You never see musicians when they come up. You always see them when they're really big, when they've blown up, right? And you're like, how did they get famous? How did they get so big so quickly? Overnight success. Well, this is why. Because from all the work they did previously, all the results of the work that they did previously basically comes at once. It comes at once and it makes them really famous. It makes them really big. You see an actor, you might have seen a film of his, like when they were younger, when they were first getting their feet wet, And then 5 years later, boom, you see them on a really big film. You're like, how did they get to that film? Well, no one actually sees this work that you're doing. This is the unseen bit that no one thinks you're doing. And when all the results of your hard work comes at once, people call you what? An overnight success. That's what an overnight success is. However, one thing you have to remember is that you can't wait till year 3 or year 8 to do the work. All this work you're doing here matters. It all matters. If you're going to the gym and you expect this to happen without doing all of this hard work with no results, you're lost and you're deluded, because all of this work here, all of it is what contributes to this big spike up here. Let me get the pen. If you didn't do any of this, this will never happen. This is unthinkable. But because you did all of this work without anyone noticing, in the dark, by yourself, working hard, grinding away, without any support, without anyone noticing what you're doing, without any results, but you're making so much progress here. And this is all going to contribute, because when you finally get your big break here, this is what happens when you get your big break. It all comes at once. And this is the power of compound effect, compound interest. And the beauty about being a man is that you can isolate yourself, you can shut the world off and do this hard work here without anyone noticing that you're doing the hard work. And then one day, boom, you come out of nowhere and everyone is like, how did you do this? What have you been doing recently to get this result? How are you famous now? How are you successful now? Tell me your secret. Well, the secret was simply doing the work with no results for years and years at a time, and eventually getting the result that you desire. But if you're not willing to put in the work, if, like most people these days, you are caught up in the world of instant results, Amazon Prime, next day delivery, if that's how you live your life, you are never going to become successful. You will always be broke. You will always be fat. You'll always be skinny. You'll never get a girl, because you're not willing to put in the work for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years. You're not willing to do that. And anyone that achieved any level of success worth remembering, remember, you can achieve success fast, but it's also going to get taken away from you really fast. Anyone that achieved any level of success did it over a long period of time. You just didn't see it. You just didn't see the hard work. So are you willing to put the work in today for the next 3 years without anyone seeing what you're doing, without getting any praise from anyone, without getting any validation from anyone, in the darkness by yourself? Are you willing to do that without any sort of results, in full knowledge that you're making so much progress? Are you willing to do that, bro? Because if you're not willing to do that, then you're in the wrong game. Then you need to say goodbye to your dreams, because the winners, the ones that really win, they've put in a lot of work, a ridiculous amount of work for their dreams to happen.